Hi, I'm Lynn with Blue Knight Rubber Stamps, and today I want to show you how to make wispy skies with the PanPastels. And then we'll play around a little bit with our watercolor, mixing different colors of PanPastels to make a beautiful realistic scene. I've always wanted to know how to make these wispy skies, where it looks like the sky is just floating into this white spot. And the hardest thing for me to do is leave a white space when I'm stamping. So there's a couple of ways you can do this, and so I'm going to show you both ways. So of course we want to stamp first. And again, we want to get that right in the corner. Okay, and it's okay that it's not real dark. We'll just go ahead and stamp 2 pieces of paper. Alright, so to start, I'm going to color the bridge, and I'm just going to use colored pencils because it is pretty small and I want to stay in the line so I can color pretty quickly. And just get the wood colored with the colored pencils. Again, just like when I showed you with the meadow and the mountain, there's a little bit of a waxy finish. I'm not coloring quite as dark, so I do want to avoid my pier, but it will help as far as the PanPastel not bothering it too much. And again, one of the big things, you want to make sure you don't leave any white spots. And you can come back in actually after you've colored with the PanPastel as well. So. Alright, so now we're going to do the sky, and we're going to start with the yellow. And so I'm going to get some yellow on your wand, and you're going to start from the edge, and you're just going to kind of flick it in. And I try to leave, and I want to be careful and try not to go into the ground or the water. And I try to leave a pretty big spot to begin with, because my little white part just shrinks as I do this. Go across the top. And see, that kind of gives it the wispy look. And you also, I like to try to round it off a little bit, so I'm going to go in a little bit more up here, not so much in the middle. And then with the sunsets, if you add a little orange, gives it a little bit more depth. I'm going to run that right along the water's edge. And then a little bit of that burnt, the red iron oxide. It's just such a rich color. Now, using these wands, as you hit the edge of your paper, it does pick a little bit of that sponge off of it. So I was talking to some of the designers and asking what they did, and I realized there's actually another way to do this that doesn't ruin your sponge, but I will get to that later. So now I think I want a little bit more yellow coming through there, so I can go right over top of it. I've said this before, but the beauty of the PanPastels is you can just keep working with it till you get the color you want. Now, so my sky is yellow and orange, so I'm going to want my water to reflect a little bit, but I still want to try to keep a little bit of that white. And yes, that is always a challenge for me, to keep a little bit of white in the middle. And then I just kind of went over top of this with yellow. And then this was kind of a fun little thing for me. I decided that I wanted the water to not be just yellow. I don't think that's very realistic looking. So I added blue on top of it, and you know, blue and yellow make green, but in Maryland anyway, our water actually is rarely blue, even though in my world I like it to be blue. So at first it looked pretty murky, but the more I played with it, the more I kind of liked it. So I'm going to try to recreate that. And like I said already, and I say this with all of my videos, the beauty is you get to just keep working until you get exactly what you want. So this is a little out of the box for me. Like I said, I kind of like my water blue or just a reflection, but I was pretty pleased with the way it kind of looked. So in my mind, this part's kind of in the shadows, and that's kind of where the sun's really hitting hard there. So anyway, I have a wispy sky, which makes me really, really happy. I can finish this up by coloring my sand, and I think I will touch up. Got a little bit over the ground, and that's okay, because I'm just going to erase that out. So in the way I look at this, I always kind of imagine that it's a sunrise, but it's still a little dark out. So the water's still dark, and the sand's gonna look a little dark. Put a little bit of bronze on the sand. That'll make it a little darker and have a little bit of a shimmer on it. And a little bit of rocks there. I'm just gonna make them brown today. And then I want to go back in and see where I missed a little water there. Okay, and we re-stamp. And you see all that beautiful detail comes right back up. And this set actually comes with a couple boats and a couple sets of ducks. So I do like to add that. There's there. And now all I have to do is trim it down and mat it, and that'll be done. Okay, so I found these eyeshadow brushes at the Dollar Tree. So this one was actually, this was from Walmart, and then this one I found at the Dollar Tree for $1. So this was $2 actually. So one is Wet n Wild, the Dollar Tree is Wet n Wild, and Walmart is from e.l.f. And it is a little dustier than using the PanPastel sponges, but you just start on the edges and you just brush in. And I think this way is actually a little easier, and I'm gonna keep using my dust to get the darker edges. So it just seems to be a little bit more of a, for me, it's a natural way to get that wispy look. And again, you're just going to keep layering. And try to be careful not to completely cover up your white spot. I'm going to put a little darker blue on the edges. You want to make sure you blend it in so you don't have your starting point show. And I'm super happy with that. So, you know, and I'm not going to bother coloring the bridge, but you can just do the water the same way you did the sky. Making sure to leave a little bit of the white reflection. Same thing in here. And just quickly, so those are the two ways to get a wispy sky. And I really can't tell which one's faster, which one I like more. I feel like the brushes are just a little bit easier for me, probably because I'm super heavy-handed. Anyway, so that's what we did today. And this is what I did before we started. So once you mat it, you can see that's exactly what it looks like. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Happy stamping!